Davis Marks, are you concerned at all that the state could claim that you in your live performances demonstrate that you're impaired even though you're not? Everyone should be concerned about what the state can claim at all times. If you live your life in complete fear of what the state could claim, let me just go ahead and enlighten you. When the state is ready to, they will lie about you. This is a fact. It is an unavoidable fact of government. Now, some people are going to say, I'm playing this up or whatever, the evil corrupt, or that this is a libertarian argument. Nope. It's not libertarianism. And I'm not claiming anything specific about any of my situation at all. Okay? Listen. This is the legal system we're in. Ignore the government for a second. Ignore the government for just a second. And go, in a civil lawsuit between two similarly situated individuals, person A and person B. It's a car crash. All right? Person A and person B have their cars collide. They're both driving in the same direction and they hit each other, right? They hit each other exactly on the dividing line between the two cars. Really difficult, right? Really difficult to determine who's at fault in this very basic scenario, and I'm not going to give you any other information about it. Each of those drivers is going to present a story that the other driver is at fault. One of those is right. One of those is wrong, in theory. Okay? Both of those people can 100% believe they're right. And so they present the case that is beneficial to them. And the system will determine that one of them is more right than the other. Correct? Preponderance of the evidence, 51%, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that person will win. That's the system we have. It's adversarial. The system is built with immunities for each party to allow them to present a case where a statement that is truthfully believed and not intentionally deceptive made to the court in order to present a fact is considered roughly protected. To get to the standard to meet perjury, you have to show that they intended to deceive the court, the other parties, etc. That all these steps, people lie in court all the time and it's not perjury. Even when they're caught lying, it's not always perjury because the lie isn't always an intentional deception with material harm to the other party and stuff, blah, 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 or material gain for themselves. So you've got this standard. People lie in court all the time. The adversarial system is supposed to weed that out. If we determine that every untruth or everything said in a court proceeding that was not determined by the fact finders to be correct was a lie, then the loser of every case would be punished for lying, right? Like we can see that kind of basic concept. Now, replace party A in the scenario with government. You should expect nothing less than the government to present an adversarial position to yours. We wrote down a bunch of rules to try and constrain that. We wrote down a bunch of processes. We've raised the standard because we say the government has all this power. So therefore, rather than preponderance of the evidence that we would have in a civil case, we need to go to beyond a reasonable doubt. We do all these things to try and protect the rights of the much smaller party versus the fucking government. And it's impossible. Now, again, this is not in any way even slamming government. This is a natural progression of a system with power that writes its own rules, existing within its own adversarial system where the adversarial system allows for each party to push forward its own narrative and allows for that narrative to have untruth in it, where maybe they have to fill gaps or whatever, or maybe just present it in the way that is most beneficial to them, so long as they're not intentionally misrepresenting something. The government is going to do this the same way any normal people would. The problem here is that the government's result is a deprivation of your essential liberty. When it comes time, the state will lie. Not because it's malicious or nefarious, not because it's anything other than the adversarial system, and the state is your adversary. Treat them that way, because that's what they are. Expect that they will lie about something. Now, I already know some dumbass is going to be out there and be like, Nick's denying all it says government has set him up and it's a giant conspiracy. I haven't said any of this shit at all. Other people have said tons of stuff about my case that involves like conspiracy and blah, blah, blah. And when I say something like, hey, you know, the story isn't what it seems, you're like, people come up with these harebrained theories about like what the state has done, how like some sort of crazy, I don't know, conspiracy. I hate saying that word over and over. Some sort of crazy plot against me or whatever. I've never said that. People keep saying I'm saying that or like that I'm implying it. I'm not. Saying that the natural facet of the adversarial system is that when the time comes, the state's going to lie about you and to you. They just will. Be ready for it. But you also can't live your life in fear of that, because you can't go around curtailing your behavior to say, well, I have to act in this perfect way. The state will lie about me. Lie. The state will lie about you anyway. Live your life the way you need to live it. The state will lie. There you go. Spices says, and they are allowed to. Now, they're technically not allowed to lie under oath. They do. They never get punished. Skull Leader says, so the state lies about every single case or just yours? Now, see, you've presented the false choice fallacy. I haven't said the state has lied about my case or that the state will lie about every case, but they will. And they do. Practically. Because that's the system. They have to. The adversarial system says the state presents the case against the defendant in the light most favorable to the state. That's just what it will do. Again, this isn't saying that it's malicious, it's nefarious, or even necessarily bad. This is about the philosophy of how you live your life. If you're living your life in a certain way because you fear the state will lie about you, the state will lie about you. So why are you trying to pander to eliminate the lie? Even if you try and eliminate the possibility of the lie, they'll just lie. There you go. They just do. I don't know how to say it any different. I know people are going to take it in the completely wrong way. And guess what? The state will probably take what I just said if they get the opportunity and lie about it. That's even though I haven't talked about my own case or any particular person acting in any particular way within my case or any particular statement or any particular representation made by the state. I'm just saying that generally the state will lie about you. They will. And they already do. They already do. They do in little ways that don't matter. Not everything is a felony charge, right? The state lies about you. The state lies to you. The state lies to other people about you. Plead the Fifth says, is it a lie or a different interpretation? That's a question for Eric Holder, right? About Fast and Furious. It wasn't a lie, he said. Even though they knew it was untrue, it wasn't a lie. Go to Eric Holder for the definition of a lie. But no, and again, understanding what I say, in the adversarial system, you put forth the facts in the light that says you win. Don't misrepresent the facts. Don't have the fact mean something other than, or don't. That's the thing. What does the fact mean is a different question. But don't create a fact or distort a fact. You present the facts in the way that say you win. That's what you do. If the facts line up and say you win, that's what happens. But in every case, both parties present the facts to say I win. And in a lot of cases, neither side is lying, but one party wins. So the other party must have necessarily misstated a fact, right? Like that has to have happened. Logical outcome is that two parties can take the same set of facts, represent them in a way where each one of them should win in their own mind, and one wins and one doesn't. So one was wrong, but they presented and asserted it as truth, so it must be incorrect. Or it must be a lie. But it's a colloquialized use of lie. The state will lie about you. The state will misrepresent about you, to your friends, to your family, whoever. I challenge anyone to try and show me that the state won't do that, because they already do it to everybody. So that being said, I don't want to talk about that subject too much. Neurodivergent says the state lies early and often. Yeah. They present their thing. But like I said, for me specifically, I'm not going to comment on what things are true, untrue, whatever on here. If you want to see those things, I'm sure anything that I and counsel find to be whatever will be presented in due time in its proper medium.